What's up? It's Soncerae here. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you thumbs up the live stream when you get here. Try to keep it short and sweet. I don't know if I could do an hour, but I could probably do 30 to 45 minutes. I have so many things that's going on. I'm in the middle of writing my book. I've been trying to diversify my investment portfolio, trying to invest in so many different things. If you go into my community tab, there is an offer for you to get free stock. And I want you to go check that out. It's important that if you haven't started investing your money into crypto or stocks, make sure that you do that. If you download the public app and use my code, you can get free stock. And my code is Soncerae Monique. So the public app is just basically like a social media app for investors and people who are teaching like financial literacy and stuff like that. So if you are interested in buying stock, please download the public app. Now, I do have other apps that I use. I use Robinhood. I use Coinbase. That's the only two that I would suggest anybody using right now. I have Voyager on my phone and I have a Voyager account, but I have not started investing on that app yet. I don't want to tell you to go use the Voyager app in order to invest. So you could download it, but I don't know enough about it in order to tell you. I haven't done like a thorough review of it, but I can tell you I love the public app for investing, especially if you are a newbie. The public app and to get Coinbase app if you want to look for cryptocurrency. Okay. Now, if you want to get it real basic, you can use Cash App to buy Bitcoin. Okay. Coinbase just has a whole bunch of different coins on it. All right. So anyway, over the weekend, a lot of my investments crashed. A lot of my investments I profited off of, but a lot of them crashed because of basically taxes, basically capital gain type of stuff. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into that because I do want to start talking about investments and wealth management on my channel. But I do want to start with basics first because I want to make sure that everybody that is listening to me is on the same level. A couple of people decided that they wanted to come to my channel to talk about wealth and success and God and spirituality and all of the things that I talk about on Instagram. Instagram, I keep it basic on there. Is I give my relationship advice. I give my quotes about femininity. I give my relationship advice for men and women. I give my wealth tips and, of course, my spirituality tips. Now, everybody kind of knows, if you don't know, my biggest thing is about life in general, like the Quan. It's about success, wealth, health, community, respect, stuff like that. So I'm big on everything that can make your life better as a whole. And when I decided that I wanted to become a certified life coach, just to go get certified and actually do it for a living, I didn't realize how many people had this specific version of what a life coach should be in their mind. So I'm guessing everybody is like expecting to me for me to be like this specific type of life coach that they see other people be. But I'm my own person. I can't be what everybody else wants in a life coach. You know what I'm saying? Like my life coaching is for the people that it applies to. Okay. I can say for me, it's like I'm orthodox and I'm very much okay with that. I just, hope that people can learn from me. Um, One thing that is disturbing that I see all of the time in this life coaching thing that I'm doing online, it's different if I was in corporate America and I was doing life coaching with just like business people and professionals. But when you are a life coach on social media and you already have a following of people behind you, it tends to mesh with not just professional people or business people or wealthy people, but you also have people who are on a different level. Okay, so I have people who want relationship advice as well inside of my audience. And what I notice is I have a lot of men inside of my audience as well. So a lot of times men, right? And it's a lot of low energy men that actually feel like they are men of value. because of messages that they have absorbed on other social media platforms. So they come into my community and they say things that I don't know, they say things that kind of, it's hard because it's like I'm an independent woman, right? Everybody knows that I'm independent, but a lot of men that are inside of my audience claim that they don't like independent women and that independent women are the reason why it's so much division inside of the Black community. And then I have women inside of my audience where half of them have been listening to someone else on another platform, and they believe that divine femininity is supposed to be this tool that they should use to get affluent men. So I'm dealing with a whole bunch of intellectual, professional, wealthy millionaires and financial people and all of that stuff because of, what I do for a living outside of YouTube. And then I turn around and I'm interacting with people who have this warped thought process because they've been on YouTube so long. And when you get on YouTube and you watch YouTube a long time and you're a part of this community, you start adopting a lot of the principles and thought processes and the narratives and stuff that's over here. And a lot of that stuff is toxic and is unhealthy. A lot of people come here to vent. A lot of people come here to vent their frustrations. So when they come off as like some type of teacher or that they give advice, a lot of times they give you stuff that might be detrimental to you. And I think I could have participated in something like that at one point in time. I actually feel like YouTube kind of brought a little bit of negativity to me because of all of the experiences that I was having on here with the opposite sex. So it kind of warped my mind being surrounded by men who are kind of on the incel red pill, men going their own way type of I'm finally seeing my value crap. That is just like, Lord. Now here's the interesting part. I think everybody has come to some type of awakening. I do want to say that both Black men and women have come to some type of awakening where women are starting to realize it's okay to be powerful, it's okay to be independent, it's okay to go out there and get your own money. Your self-worth has more to do with the power that you have and not necessarily how a man assesses you. And at the same time, men are like, well, I want traditional women. I want to require more out of a relationship. But what these men are requiring out of relationships is more women being more traditional because they believe that women who are traditional are feminine and women who are independent and have their own money don't know anything about being traditional or feminine. So I have to consistently teach men that there are plenty of feminine, independent, wealthy, powerful women who have husbands who are also powerful and successful. And these two people are a power couple. I have to consistently like introduce the concept of a power couple to a lot of men. So I don't have to explain that to women. Women already know they could find a man who is also on their level. You understand? Because men have already been working on being successful, generating income, doing whatever. There's plenty of men out there that have already worked on themselves and their careers, their money, and stuff like that. But women are starting to do that more. So now it's a lot of men out there who don't feel like they have a place anymore because they're no longer providers. But it also is weird to me because a lot of these men weren't providers to begin with. A lot of these men barely make $50,000 a year. So when they're looking for traditional women, they don't even have the traditional income to do that. They don't own houses. They don't, have a job that pays them well. They're just the average, like Joe Schmo, but they want a woman to be in a traditional sense in the 1950s type of woman to where she didn't have to go to work. So I was watching some guy. He was telling me some about some clip he saw, and he was saying that there was some guy, and I'm not sure if it was Kevin Samuels or whoever, but it was some guy who was saying that men should go out there and make a certain amount of money so their women don't have to work. Now, most women are not going for that in 2021. Okay, women have too many goals and too many things that we want to do, especially young women. So if you're looking for a younger woman, like say for instance you're 35, you're looking for a woman who's 25, 26, you got two choices. And I'm noticing it's only in two categories when you're dealing with women in their early 20s. Half of them want to be a sugar baby and don't want to work, but they don't genuinely love you to begin with. They only love you because of what you can do for them. So the second that you no longer have any money, or the money starts draining, that's when the strain is going to come on the relationship. So if you're over 35 and you make all of this money and you're looking for a younger woman to be with, you only got these two choices, which is the one who's the gold digger, who's going to go out there and try to use you for everything you got. Hopefully you put her on the wheel. This is what she's looking for. And then you have other young ladies out there starting their own businesses. And these are the women that a lot of men are trying to avoid because they feel like the women who are independent and powerful and strong and have their own money, they're not feminine. And that's the problem right there. They associate strength, wealth, power, and those things to masculinity. And not all women who are successful are masculine. Not all women who are successful are having trouble finding a man. For the most part, inside of the social circle I'm in, most of these women are mothers. Some of them aren't mothers, but they got a man. It's a lot of them that are also single as well because they're focused on their career. So it's different types of women inside of, the social circle I am in. But for the most part, none of them are masculine. Like none of the independent women I know are like these rah-rah type of chicks that go off at the mouth and they don't have any type of self-control or emotional intelligence. That's just not the social circle I've ever had, actually. It's like I've never had that. So I guess for me, it's very difficult for me to understand men when they say they keep running into women who are independent on this quote unquote don't need a man tip, and they want to be disrespectful to men. That's so hard for me because I don't see it. And when I say I don't see it, I don't see it of any age of woman around me. Because I'm not just around women who are 40. I'm around women who are older than me. I'm around women who are younger than me. When you are in the type of industry that I'm in, as far as even IT, anything that has to do with IT or telecom or um, just life coaching, entrepreneurship, investing. You meet so many different people, so many different races, so many different genders and ages. It's not one specific like type of person that you're around. And I've noticed every single woman that I've interacted with, regardless to her race, regardless to her age, if she was a business owner or she was wealthy, she was still feminine. So these women are walking inside of their femininity. They're not out here powerful and wealthy, independent, and disrespecting men. And it doesn't dim a man's light when a woman is successful. Okay. And I think a lot of men are being taught that their light is dimmed whenever a woman who is successful comes around. It's a lot of men being taught that they shouldn't go after successful women because they themselves are the only one who can possess success, because women shouldn't be doing anything but laying around and being cute. And to put women in such a box, like put women in such a box, it's almost like a cage. Like men believe that women shouldn't do anything but sit around and be beautiful. Now I do feel like there are a lot of women out there that just want that. And I was telling a gold digger earlier today, a gold digger, she was doing a video earlier and she was saying that inside of her comment section, women kept making fun of her because they were saying, oh, you just lay around and let some man take care of you. And she was like, yes, that's exactly what I do. I put the video inside of my Instagram story. You can go check it out. And I said to her, I said, listen, honey, if you feel like if this was your goal, if your goal was to find a man who is wealthy so he could take care of you and you could just lay around and do nothing, if that was your goal, then you've accomplished something. That makes sense, if that's your goal. And she said, your comment is dumb. I said, how is that dumb? It makes sense. See, I can respect the fact that you a gold digger and you okay with that. You haven't justified it. You just do what you want to do. I'm all for women doing what they want to do. See, I don't have to like what you do, so I don't apply it to my life. But there is a special place in hell for women who do not support other women. Now, I may not like that this woman is a gold digger, and I do think it's manipulative to only go after men for money, because the second that money dry up and your ass wasn't investing, but you was spending money all on clothes and shoes and all of that nonsense, because the money don't stay forever. I just said earlier that something happened to the stock market over the weekend. Okay, over the past week, really. So the money don't always stay there. So if you're dealing with somebody who has wealth, you got to help them build it. You got to help them maintain it. And you're not doing that if you're a liability, only laying around doing nothing. Right. But I said to her, if that's your goal and that's who you are and that's what you want, be proud of yourself. You got it. You did it, honey. You did the damn thing. But I could tell by the way she responded that she's not necessarily completely happy with just laying there, let some man take care of her. That shit get old quick. Trust me, it get old. Like when you young and shit, and you in your early 20s, and you got a man wanting to take you everywhere you want to go on vacation, you can go, and you want to buy what you want, you can do all that. You get bored. You're not doing anything. You have no purpose. You have no job. You're not doing anything but being a housewife. Your life starts to kind of feel like mundane, and you aren't fulfilling anything. Every person has to have some type of purpose somewhere that has to do with them evolving as a person, not just them becoming, just the helpmate for another human being. It gets old with time. So when you young, yeah, like you ever seen young people go buy like brand new cars? Of course you could get a brand new car when you in your early 20s, because your credit score is immaculate, right? So they trying to give you ways to mess up your credit easy when you in your early 20s. It makes sense. They going around here with luxury cars, driving Maseratis and Lamborghinis and all of this foolishness, but don't got their own apartment, don't got no land, don't got no investments, nothing. Just got a decent credit score, and all they care about is their car. Like their car is the only thing that is. It's a lot of young people that think that way. Okay, so when you young, you don't necessarily understand the days ahead of you, like what possibly could change in your life to make you want to do something else with your life. Hey, Melanie, you have to have a purpose. You have to. And it can't be just laying up under a man. But if that's your goal, just understand your goals change with time. Like my goals when I was 25 are very different. When I was 35, they changed. And then they changed again at 45. And then they changed again. Wait a minute. I'm not 45 yet. So they changed at 40. You know what I mean? So to me, part of what I'm also seeing from a lot of these girls is they're using divine femininity as a tool to try to get men. Like there are actually relationship guru chicks out here teaching hypergamy and divine femininity as a way to pull men. And the whole purpose of divine femininity has nothing to do with a man. But these women are teaching these young girls that their worth is determined by how feminine they could be towards a man and his perception of them as a woman. And that's the problem right there. People always be like, Soncerae, why don't you, like the hypergamy stuff? Because it's not just about the manipulation part where you're teaching women to date up and refuse to date down, but then expect the man to date down. You're also teaching them false narratives about divine femininity or femininity in general, as if you can buy femininity. Or if you pretend to be more feminine, you can actually get you a man. Now, it sounds good to the average naked eye, but after you are pretending to be something you're not, then what? You're pretending to be feminine, right? You're pretending to be all these things. You're dressing the way somebody told you to dress. You're talking the way somebody told you to talk. You think in the way somebody else told you to think. You're doing all of this to jump through hoops to get the ring and the last name and to be able to walk down the aisle, right? Finally, you get down the aisle, you get married. You do realize that your husband thinks that all of these things that you was doing is actually you, but it's not. It's this package that you stepped foot in. It's false. It's like men want a real woman. They don't want a woman who's pretending to be feminine, pretending to talk a certain way, pretending to do. No, they want a woman who's genuinely herself. So when they find out that this woman that you've been all this time ain't yourself, because they're going to find out, because eventually you're going to get tired of pretending. At some point, these men are going to see who you truly are. Just like how you got to take your wig off and take your makeup off. At some point, you got to trust your man enough to be able to take it off and hope he still love you because he met you with all of it on. Okay? So at some point, you got to take the makeup off, take the wig off. Hell, even take your clothes off in front of a dude and be able to trust him. So at some point, this facade that you created, this feminine facade that you created, you're going to have to take off. And a lot of women don't think that way when they're listening to these divine femininity like gurus. Okay. So one thing that struck me as interesting as well is this clip, not this clip, this post I put on Instagram. Now, let me tell you about what happened in order for me to put this post and for this post to get so popular, because it's about, I only put it up a week ago and it's at like 500 hits, and I don't usually get 500 hits on something because my Instagram profile is still small. Okay, so I only got like almost 10,000 followers on Instagram, so most of my stuff is maybe 200 likes. So this one is like at 500 or 600 for some reason. So I'm gonna talk to you about why I think this specific post resonated with women so much. So I was in this on Facebook about 2 weeks ago, and we were in there talking about women of quality and men of quality. And there was this real estate investor female who has a big following on Facebook, and me and her are friends on there. And she was talking about how Bath and Body Works, she was saying, excuse me, she was saying, put yourself in a position where you've secured your bag to where you can choose Coco Chanel over Bath and Body Works. And so I came in the comment section and I said, I'm wealthy. If I want to smell like toilet water and dog breath, that's exactly what I'm going to smell like. You feel what I'm saying? I work every day to make sure I make good money. I don't care what other people think about me at this point. I wear Coco Chanel and Bath and Body Works together. And I said, I don't understand why women keep trying to tell other women that the way that they can level up is if they stop wearing Bath and Body Works and put on Coco Chanel. This is one of those stupid divine femininity narratives that women keep pushing on other women that's superficial. See, I don't care if you put on diamonds, pearls, a cardigan, a damn camel colored trench coat, your heels are on point. You could be walking around here looking like Audrey Hepburn. What's her name? Audrey, what is that? Hepburn. You could be walking around looking like her. You could walk around and look like all of the chicks that claim they're so feminine. And at the end of the day, that still won't make you wealthy. It still won't make you classy and elegant, because class and elegance is from the inside out. You can't put something on the outside to make you classy. It's something that happens on the inside. Now, let me tell you something about me and the duality of me. I know how to get ratchet. Whether I'm talking to you in a feminine voice or a masculine one, you heard what the fuck I said. You feel what I'm saying? Like, women of class or elegance or of quality, we know how to camouflage. We can fit in any situation, because part of being an entrepreneur, or part of even being a successful person, you have to know how to improvise. Entrepreneurship is about improvising. It's rare that you'll be able to just stick to one way of being. You have to know how to interact with all different types of people. Now, you do have to protect your energy and have some standards and some boundaries, but trust me, your physical appearance only matters to the superficial. But when you're dealing with people who are wealthy, 9 times out of 10, most of us are minimalists. So if you see a wealthy person who is jet setting all the time, or having multiple luxury cars and on vacation all the time, they're living big paycheck to big paycheck. And it may look different to you, but it's the same pressure as the regular person who's making $30,000 a year working a city job, trying to make ends meet. It's the same thing. It's just on another level. So it looks like, because this person has 5 Lamborghinis and 2 mansions and 3 jets and all of this stuff, that they just must be living this luxury lifestyle. No, there's something behind it that they are struggling with. Usually entrepreneurs who are wealthy, who are millionaires, billionaires, minimalists, don't live a luxury lifestyle. Okay? Live below means. Because the reason why you stay wealthy is because of assets. You don't create a whole bunch of liabilities because you're spending money on liabilities. You can't stay wealthy with a shit ton of liabilities. Now, you can lease vehicles. I'm not saying that leasing, like having a vehicle, even though they depreciate in value, I'm not saying having a whole bunch of vehicles is a bad thing if you are using them as some type of collector's item. You know how people buy and sell, like, um, what is it? Antique cars and stuff like that. Like, investing in stuff like that, just like you would do art and things like that, that would make sense. But for you to sit here and just be buying all of these Lamborghinis just so you can flex for somebody else, when you see people doing that, usually they are struggling financially because they're spending, 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 spending. See, wealthy people, wealth comes from people accumulating a shit ton of assets, and their assets paying for all of their liabilities. So when you see women and they have spent $4,000 on a handbag, look at her sideways. And if she has a whole, like, say for instance, she has a whole closet full of luxury handbags, $4,000 handbags, whole bunch of different shoes, a whole bunch of different clothes. Unless she was given these clothes by a clothing brand, because a lot of times when you get to the certain level that, like, I'm at, even when I was modeling, I got a lot of free stuff. Like, designers that send you stuff. So that could be her if she's a model or a social media influencer or something like that. But the average woman who's walking around here wealthy, she's not spending a lot of money on handbags and shoes and clothes and stuff, because it's not that deep. As you can see, like, let me give you an example. I don't know if you've seen this clip. Pause on the women right quick. Damn, Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg was doing an interview with Diane Sawyer. And inside of this video, she asked him where did he live. And he was telling her that he didn't live in like this big ass luxury house, that he was like actually staying on a, like, in an empty apartment and laying on a mattress. This is a man who is a multi-billionaire laying in a tiny apartment on a mattress, no furniture. Go look it up. I think it's Mark Zuckerberg, and he's interviewing with Diane Sawyer, if I can remember this clip correctly. He's basically telling her, oh, I don't live in no fancy dancy. Now, he may do that now, but while he was becoming who he was not. He was not buying all of this stuff. Okay? What makes a woman wealthy has nothing to do with whether she's wearing Coco Chanel or Bath and Body Works. So I went onto my Facebook and I said, I'm gonna put this on my Facebook. I mean, I'm gonna put this on my Instagram. I went onto my Instagram and I made a tweet. First, I tweeted it, and I said to ladies, there are wealthy women out there that don't wear Coco Chanel or Bath and Body Works. That has nothing to do with wealth. Wealth is you being able to live anywhere in the world comfortably and to be able to invest in any type of venture that you want to. That's wealth. Being able to travel. That's wealth. Being able to have land. Being able to purchase multifamily units. And don't get me started on property. I posted something today about landlords. Landlords only get 10% of your rent because they have property taxes to pay and the mortgage to pay. So the most that a lot of these people who are renting their properties out to you is $600 to $1,000 a month off of you, which pales in comparison to how much they could make if they had a multifamily unit. So I tell people, don't even bother with just permanently renting out a property because the maintenance and stuff that you have to put into renting out your property to me it's not breaking even. You understand? Like it just seems, I don't know, it just doesn't seem worth it to me. Okay, 10%. Let that sit with you. 10%. Like I was like, no. And people buy properties and flip them, sell them. Like I tell people, go buy a tore down home, renovate it, and then sell it for more than what you bought it for. You can make a better profit doing that rather than buying a house, keeping it, and being somebody's landlord. That's what I think. It sounds like because honestly, I feel like people don't. I know some people might stay in homes longer, but for the most part, a lot of people move often. I've noticed. Like I don't know, man. I think it might be the average person moves often. I'm not sure. I know that Grant Cardone, he doesn't like staying in one place. He likes renting. He doesn't like, and we're talking about Grant Cardone, undercover billionaire on Discovery Channel. He does not like owning. Like when I first ran into Grant Cardone, he was teaching rent, rent because it's going to be tore down. And I remember saying this on my channel before that I wouldn't want to get a mortgage because that's technically not home ownership because the bank owns the home because you took out a home loan for 30 years. And by the time those 30 years pass, the house be so worn down, you're passing down this worn down property to your kids. Right now, it'd be yours, but still, they would have to have money on top of that to renovate the house all over again. So if you're going to pass down properties to your children, make sure you also have some other assets that they can like liquidate to where they'll have money to be able to renovate the home. You know, that's what I think. So anyway, anyway, um, but what people think wealth is weird to me. When I do try to talk to women about hypergamy and how to not use this stuff as like um some type of, I don't know, tool to misuse men or something, they get upset. Now, if you don't know the story, my TikTok account got deleted about a whole bunch of women who are gold diggers. The gold diggers came together. This is what ended up happening. The gold diggers came together and decided to flag down my account because they didn't like the fact that I was teaching women to go out there and secure their own bag. They didn't like that I was calling them basicus. So they got my first TikTok account deleted. But I remember before that TikTok account was deleted, a girl came into my one of my videos where I was saying that when wealthy women, affluent women go on dates with men, we usually leave the tip because it's kind of like a just a behavior, a class behavior. It's what I was taught, right? So I was saying women who don't leave the tip when they go on a date with a guy are basicers. And inside of the video, I had on a Scooby Doo shirt. I think I had bought the Scooby Doo shirt maybe the day before. Now, this goes back to what I said about wealth and being a minimalist. When you're wealthy, you can wear what you want, go what you want, do what you want to do. Okay, that's your business. So I'm sitting in the car doing a video with a Scooby Doo shirt on. Girl comes into the chat. Oh, we can tell you basic because you clearly ain't got no money because you got on a Scooby Doo shirt. I was like, so you think if I had on what? Fendi or Louis Vuitton or something like that, that would mean that I'm wealthy? See, wealth to me isn't my clothing or my shoes or my any of that. I like to look nice, but I'm not going to spend ridiculous amounts of money on my physical appearance. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. So if I want to wear a Scooby Doo shirt with a blazer, some jeans, and some heels, that's what I'm going to do. That's like me. That's like women feeling some type of way about the vice president because she likes to wear pearls and chucks. You see how ridiculous that sounds? She's still the president of the vice president of the United States, even though she's wearing chucks. It's not going to stop her from being the president of the United States. Just like me wearing a Scooby Doo shirt isn't going to stop me from being wealthy. The only thing that would stop me from being wealthy is Soncerae not doing what she's supposed to do in order for her to be wealthy. Not a goddamn Scooby Doo shirt. Okay. So, but can you imagine trying to explain to people that to me, wealth is me being comfortable anywhere in the world. Like me being able to live wherever or to spend money on wherever or go wherever. Not be able to buy a handbag and some shoes that I can only wear once or twice because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to end up having to take a picture in it or do a video in it. You know, like if I have on a $500,000 gown on, I can only wear this gown once to the Oscars. I can't put this gown on every time I want to go to the grocery store. I just wasted $500,000 to go to the Oscars. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good. No, I'm just gonna wear what I want because I'd rather spend $400,000, $500,000 on something that's worth it. Some kind of return, something. I'd rather spend $400,000 on an experience before I spend it on a gown. It makes more sense. People are very materialistic and they think wealth and materialism go together, and it doesn't. Usually, wealthy people who are extremely materialistic are broke. Now, one thing that you can tell by a person who's wealthy is sharing financial wealth tips and a lot of traveling. Usually, wealthy people know more wealthy people because most of us are in the airport. All right. That's how that goes. So I was thinking about in November, right? I leave the country. And I was thinking about taking y'all with me. Now, I've been scared to do a trip. Like I was going to, I have a single mom group. It's 3,000 moms in there. I was going to do a trip. I did a trip for my YouTube followers. Maybe I don't know. I think it was 2012. No, it was like 2014. I did a cruise and I was thinking about doing that again. But then I realized that maybe I don't want to do that because I feel like my privacy, like I've been trying to keep my privacy. I don't post my kids as much. I don't post what I'm doing. I don't like, even when I go out, when I travel and stuff, I don't take pictures. I don't do anything. I don't do it because I don't want my personal life to be all over the internet. And that's weird for me because, I see everybody else and they're posting in vacations and shit like that. I don't want to post who I'm dating. I don't want to post my food. I don't even want to take a picture of my food. It's like, how did I get to this point where I'm a social media person and this is what I do and my ass don't want to post nothing? Like, and not nothing, but I don't want to post anything that might be appealing to other people. You know? I don't know what's going on with me. So anyway, I just wanted to do this live stream right quick about this because this is one of the struggles that I'm having with life coaching. One of the biggest struggles that I'm having with life coaching is emptying people's minds with the toxicity that's been pumped into it, that's creating division. Like, it's so bad that I could be saying something positive to somebody and they still are so hell bent on the toxicity that's been put in their mind that they think I'm being negative. That's how bad it is. I'm like, you don't even realize how terrible you sound. For example, if you look through my videos, I posted this clip of this girl named Dana. And in it, she's talking about how men don't like women and how the reason why men, black men who are, crooks basically, who are dusties, don't really like women. And the reason why they don't like women has to do with how they grew up. Now, you guys have heard me say that. If you've been listening to my channel for a while, you've heard me say that. A lot of the men who flood my YouTube channel and thumbs down everything and troll my comment section, most of them are dusties. And they feel so much hatred towards women. So Dana is speaking about this. She's saying, the reason why they hate women is because they never really liked their mothers, their sisters, their aunties. They never respected those women, so they don't necessarily respect the women that they're dealing with now. And the reason why they don't respect the women in their family is because they watched the women in their family be disrespected by other men. They didn't like the way that these women carried themselves. Right, I agree. This is what I think as well. So she's saying this, and it's on my channel. You can go back and look if you want to. And when that clip is also on my TikTok. And so on my TikTok, I have hundreds of men coming in and there leaving comments, of course. And so one guy comes in and he's talking about single moms. Now, I keep seeing the single mom narrative. I keep trying to tell everybody the fucking wind can blow wrong and somebody gonna blame the single mother. Aliens could land on this planet and they'll blame single mothers. Hurricane Katrina could come back. She could circle the block and single mothers will be blamed. The problem is there's no black male accountability. So when men say that single mothers are the reason behind the destruction of the black community, it's an implication. They're implying that women are the leaders of the community. So men are of no value, period. So what men want and what men are doing doesn't matter at all. And our community has always been ran by women. This is what they're saying basically when they say that single mothers are the destruction of the black community. Because if in fact men were leaders, all right, of the black community, single mothers wouldn't single-handedly be able to destroy the community because men would be leading it. And it's nothing that we as single mothers could do because men are controlling it. So when men say single mothers this, single mothers that, single mothers, I can always tell it's some toxicity that they learned from some other platform and they're just repeating what they heard, not understanding exactly what they're saying because they're implying that men have no power in the black community whatsoever. So I say to them, you should try to lead better. And the best way that you can lead better as a man is by holding other men accountable. Have that same energy when you speaking to your peers about abandoning their children. Okay, when you hear Well, you want to scream at single mothers for having children out of wedlock, but the women who did get married are still being abandoned with children. At some point, men are going to have to take accountability for the poor choices that they make. See, it's nothing wrong with not wanting to be in a relationship with a woman anymore, or no longer wanting to be married to a woman anymore. But you can't just abandon being a father. But a lot of men believe that being a father is something that they can just relinquish themselves of. The reason why they think that is because they are not being ostracized the way that women are ostracized if we decide to abandon motherhood. And when I try to explain this to men, they think that I'm just out of my mind because they're so stuck on the narrative, the false narrative, that the reason why the Black community is the way that it is because of single mothers. They are stuck on not taking accountability as men, and then they wonder why the destruction of the community is even happening. This is why it's happening, because these men who think they're more valuable than what they are, if they would apply themselves and actually lead, it wouldn't be so many abandoned children out here. They say single mothers make betas. You know why it's so many betas? It's because it's no alphas, or it's no masculine men. And I'm so tired of using alpha and beta. I got to find a whole new term, because I'm so sick of men flinging around their definitions, and I keep trying to explain to men. It's simple to me. It's alpha's a good man, beta's a bad one. That's how I use it. I don't use it the way that other people use it. Like, people are like, a beta is just somebody who's, basically subservient and submissive. And I said, yeah, that's exactly what a beta is, but they're submissive and subservient to men, not women. They're weak around other men, not women. You know what I'm saying? They treat women like shit. They disrespect women. Disrespecting women is not an alpha male trait, but what I'm seeing a lot of men say is that, oh, that's what alphas do. So I'm hearing a lot of betas say to me that the alpha man is the bad man, right? So I'm like, oh, Lord, I got to stop using this alpha and beta male stuff, because number one, it's irking me, right? This just get on my nerves, right? It's just irking my soul. Number two, I don't want to refer to men as animals anymore, because every time a misogynistic man or a sexist man starts talking about men and women, they start using animals like alpha dogs and lioness and dominance, lions and lioness and all that stuff. That's, to me, that is toxic masculinity at its finest. So I was like, I gotta stop using these terms that I done adopted from YouTube, using them shits everywhere. I was on Instagram and I called this guy beta male pup, and this girl was like, what? That is such a good damn name for a man. So I was like, I don't want to use Dusty because everybody's using Dusty. I don't want to use beta, alpha no more. I just want to be done with that. I don't even want to talk about high value, low value, none of that. I don't even want to hear none of that, because it's too much. Even the narcissist term is irking me. I'm so sick of everybody calling everybody a narcissist. It's just annoying the absolute fuck out of me. Like, I'm so done with some of this stuff. So I just feel like I gotta find a way to create another term to describe what I'm talking about so people can understand it more. But it just seems like everyone seems to be so damn confused. And it's just like, oh my God, there is organization and there is logic. It's just everyone has to turn down their emotions for a second. When I start preaching reciprocation, everybody just goes crazy. Like I keep trying to say, it's teamwork. A relationship is teamwork. A community is teamwork. A family is teamwork. Men like, no, men should be providers and women should do nothing. The traditional way of doing things is over. It's 2021. It's not 1950 anymore. You can't go back to the way things used to be, because people used to use a rotary phone. We don't use that anymore. We use a smartphone. The world has evolved so much that that type of thing is over. Women were getting married because they needed to use a man for room and board. We couldn't do certain things around that time. It's certain things we just could not do. Women no longer have those issues. I think a lot of men feel like women were being housewives and shit like that because we were genuinely in love with these men. Nah, most of these women could not fend for themselves. We can fend for ourselves financially. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't need men. We just don't need men financially in the way that women used to back then. Financially, right now, even just in the United States alone, most of the households need to be two income households to begin with if you want to get out of poverty. A lot of these underachieving men, these men who are making under $50,000 a year, are the main ones talking about being a provider and don't even have the income to do it. Most of the households need to be two income, especially after COVID, especially after the pandemic. Two income household at the least. Okay, we're talking about the least here. Me, I got more than one. You know me, I'm on seven. I've been trying to get 10. I'm at seven. Okay, seven sources of income is what's making me six figures. So if you are 50,000, if you making $50,000 a year just by going to work every day, can you imagine if you picked up another source of income and you have a woman that you're dating, right? She goes to work every day and then she helps you with your additional source of income. Do you know how comfortable y'all would be if y'all picked a side hustle together and worked on that shit together? Because one of my seven sources of income has to do with me and other people that I'm working with. As a team, you have to be a team in order to be financially secure. I'm just telling you what I would do. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to talk about, what I'm struggling with as far as men and women go, and, teaching finances and stuff like that. A lot of people, especially when I get on YouTube, a lot of these people, they want to hear about drama and, bullshit. If I start talking about positivity and money and things that actually matter in life, hard to get the same type of audience. People are like, Soncerae, your views are low. You know why? Because I switched. I changed. I have to rebuild. And some people are afraid to do that. But to me, I felt like I had nothing to lose. I only had something to gain by improving who I was and attracting a better group of people. Because what I was attracting before was too toxic, even on this platform. So when I come onto this platform now, I appreciate the people that listen to me and you come in my comment section and you give me the best shit to work with because you have something intellectual. You have something valuable. It gives me something to work on. It gives me opportunity to figure out what else to put on this platform because it's about creating the content that you want to see here. I can't create content for you to see if you don't come in the comment section or the chat with something valuable for me to work on. If you aren't saying anything intellectual or you aren't bringing anything valuable and it's just trolling and insults or anger or emotion, I can't work with that. I can only work with logic. And that's why I keep asking people, bring me some logic. Because if you bring me logic, I can build something from that. I can create something entertaining for you. Until then, you just don't say nothing. You feel me? It's nothing that you can say. But yeah, so that's my issue. Hopefully my TikTok will go back to the way it was. It takes time. I think it's gonna take me like another. It's gonna take me like 2 months, maybe 3 months. I like to gradually get like followers and stuff like that. I don't like to like how people buy followers and buy subscribers and buy just people paying them attention. I don't like that because I feel like if I buy those people, they could easily walk away. But if I earn them and I build something with them, they stay around. Like the longevity is there, the loyalty is there. So I'm not in no rush to go back to 53,000 followers on TikTok. And I'm supposed to be trying to aim to get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. But like that was the plan before I had my son. Like I got up to like 45, 50,000, and people was cheering me on. It was like, you almost there, Sauce, right? You almost at 100,000. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna work on it. And then I got pregnant with my son. Now my son's channel is doing great. Like my son's channel, Raising Justice, I think he at 10K. And he's at 10K with me barely posting. And I just posted some stuff up there today, but I'm gonna start posting more raising justice when I feel more comfortable with filming him, because I needed my son to basically grow up a little. Like, cause at 2, he got all over the place. 3, he got all over the place. When he get like 4, I'm probably gonna feel like filming him more. You know what I mean? Because I can't get him to sit still sometimes. He's doing funny stuff all the time, but he's all over the place. Because he's a kid. He's a kid, but he's so smart and he's so, I don't know. He's a wonderful kid. But he's getting older, and it's now that he's getting older, I need him to feel comfortable with being on camera and taking pictures and stuff. Because by the time he gets like 10 or 15, I should be way more popular, you know? So it's just like I need for my son to feel a little bit more a little bit more comfortable with the camera. But I think my son he's a great sense of humor. But I think honestly, he's going to be either an architect or into construction, because those are the things that that's where his interests are going. And I wanted to figure out what it was first, because I didn't want to push like modeling and TV and all of this stuff on him, and it just genuinely wasn't his interest. So I kind of just waited until I could figure out what his personality was. I've been following your page for a while, and I remember when you were dealing with the trolls attacking your daughter. Oh my God, I can't believe they was attacking her. You stayed down and look at you now. Thank you. I I had to let me tell you what happened with my mental health. I need you to hear this. So part of what was wrong with my mental health when I decided to get offline for 5 months was that I was starting to believe the narrative that everybody else was saying about me. The definition of Soncerae to everybody else is what I started believing, and I lost myself. And I really was believing I was like what everybody was saying I was. That's when I knew something was, like, my family could tell something was going on with my mental health, because I was believing what everybody else believed. You know what I mean? Not my family, not my friends, not the people that knew me, but complete strangers who were purposely provoking me to believe I was something that I wasn't. Right. So I had to introduce myself to myself. I had to back away from the internet and remember who I am. If you get online every day and you are interacting with people and you care so deeply about what they say, it will make you or break you. So I learned a valuable lesson from my daughter and everybody else that they was talking about, because they was talking about people and they was like, I don't know these people, I don't know why. My daughter was so strong. My daughter was like, fuck them, I don't know them. My daughter was like, I don't give a fuck about what they talk about, I don't care about this shit, because she's not a social media person. My daughter barely on social media, and still to this day people be like, oh, this is Dominique talking about. My daughter ain't never on social media. It's weird because I'm a social media person and my daughter not. My daughter go to work and play video games. That's what my daughter do. She don't get on YouTube and like Instagram, and she tried it for a moment, but it's just not her thing. It's just not what she do. So when people on the internet, I think like maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, somebody was saying that one of my subscribers came to me and they said, "Oh, I was in somebody's video taking up for you, and they kept calling me your daughter." And I don't know why they keep calling me that, but I'm not your daughter. These people actually think that my daughter get on social media. My daughter got on social media with me one time, right? In a comment section. Like we were in a chat one time, and we did it one time, and that was it. We never did it again because it's just not her thing. But yeah, I tried. Hey, D Land, what's up? I tried to, I had to, save myself. And people don't understand. People ask me, Soncerae, why did you fake your death? Why did you fake your death? No, that's not what happened at all. I just didn't communicate. I should have communicated better, and I try to apologize to people. Like, I should have just told everybody on the internet where I was. I just didn't. I just didn't say shit. I didn't tell my moderators nothing. I didn't tell nothing. Nobody, nothing. Nobody knew nothing but my family and my friends. I left the internet alone. When I tell you something snapped in me and I knew something was wrong with me, I knew it. That's why I was like, oh, fuck, I need to go and pull myself together before I let these people kill me. Because it got to a point where I was actually planning my suicide in my mind because somebody kept telling me to kill myself every day. That's how bad it was getting. And I was like, why am I thinking about this shit? So I took my break. I needed it because I found Soncerae again. I was totally gone. I was totally gone. Because them people was doing too much. And so now I value my energy, my space, what I'm doing now. And when people make fun of me for not having as many people as I used to, I'm happy. I'm like, good. Let them toxic ass people going on about their business so I can keep the people that genuinely love me and the people who are genuinely positive here. And I don't care if it's 2 people, 5 people, 1,000 people. It don't matter. Whoever here, you here for a reason. God has you here. We supposed to help each other. That's why you here in some type of form. Either you about to be pulling from my energy and learning something. We supposed to share a journey for a reason. And if you not here, whoever not here, don't even matter, because it ain't for them. So I tell people, you can't take from me. You can't take from me what God has for me. Whatever I'm supposed to have, I have. Even if I was supposed to have something temporarily. Because honestly, I feel like all that popularity I had on YouTube was tearing me up. Do you realize how bad things were for me when I was at my highest? Being pregnant with my son was the most popular I had been on YouTube ever when I was pregnant with my son. And it was by far the worst part of my life. Can you believe that? My pregnancy, when I was pregnant with my son, and the shit that happened between me and my son's father was the most popular I had ever been on YouTube. Ever. All of my videos was going viral. But I was miserable. I was so fucking sad. That's why I ain't tripping. Listen, if I get 1 view, 2 view, I'm good. As long as I'm good. As long as I'm good from the inside. I don't need a whole bunch of people liking me, looking at me, whatever. I need people around me who God sends to me. If God didn't send them to me, I don't want them. If the universe didn't bring them here, I don't want them. Because all of the people that were brought to me from some negative energy are the people that's not here. The people that was around in that negative energy when I was like dating my son's father and all this negative energy was around me, it was so many people around me. It was so many people flocking to my content. All this negative energy was just, I could feel it. It was so thick. And now that I'm sitting here positive, all of that stand out. The smoke's cleared. And now I only got a handful of people watching me. You know why? Because you're esoteric. You were selected for a purpose that's divine, that's beyond what I can explain to you right now. And maybe if I get, maybe when I have time to get into my spiritual stuff, then I can talk to y'all about it. But I'm trying not to be too spiritual with you guys. Y'all be like, this girl, she done turned Erica Badu on her ass. Anyway, I gotta go. Have vision and stay focused, y'all.